All right, so identifying slope is like a thing. So when we graph stuff, slope helps us to determine the steepness. So remember that your slope is the same as the steepness of the line, but it's numeric. Yeah, write it all down. This is good. So that's the steepness of the line, but also slope at some point in time, we'll talk about it being represented by the letter M, and it is the rise over run. So now on this particular page, we're not going to dive too deep in the rise over run, but we will talk about positive and negative and zero and undefined. So the rise over run is really delta y over delta x, and those look like triangles, but it's actually the Greek letter delta, and the delta symbol means change. Man, this works way better than my other tablet pen.
See, you have it backwards.
Change in y. Yeah.
So I forgot to ask, is it okay that she uses the sheet with the formulas?
Yes. That the sheet with the formulas you can pull up online at any point in time, but it's okay if she uses an external sheet. I would just tell her
It's the same thing. We printed
it's the
it
same
right
thing.
from there.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
All right.
That's fine. Thank you. All right. So when we talk about the change in y, that's y goes up or down. So when you think of a graph, right? And I'm going to sketch a little graph over here. I've got my graph that looks like this, right? And remember that this is x, this is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis, okay? And so what we're talking about is how much something changes over time. So if I graph a straight line on this, if I graph a straight line on this that looks something like this, okay? What the slope does is the slope lets me get from one point on the line to another point on the line. Let's put a blue in there. So if I am on this part of the line and I go up so many spaces, we call that the rise. Oh boy. Gotta wait for my computer to catch up. It's glitchy. So we call this the rise. And then if I go over, we call this the run. It's awfully glitchy. I gotta. So we call this the run. But basically, we're doing the change in y, how much we're going up or down, right? And how much we're going in the x or y direction. So the rise is the change in y, and the x is the run is the change in x. So a positive slope will have a positive rise and a positive run, and it goes uphill. This is frustrating. It's old janky Mac. All right. So this will go uphill if you read it like a book from left to right. So when I look at these graphs over here, if I read it like a book from left to right, only C goes uphill. In other words, if I'm here at C, I go up and over. Remember, I should probably point this out. On the x-axis, going to the right is positive, and on going up is positive. Going down is negative, and going to the left is negative. So these are the x and y values. So this is negative x direction going to the left. This is positive x. This is negative y going down. This is positive y going up. So C is the only one where I kind of go up and over. In other words, I go up and then I go to the right to get back on the line. So C is an uphill line. Okay, so we'll just label that as C. Now negative has a negative on the top and a positive on the bottom. In other words, it goes down and then over this way. So that would be downhill. So A goes downhill if I read it like a book left to right. Is there another one that goes downhill? Which one? E. Good job. Don't mind my handwriting. Now 0 means that your rise will be 0, but you can have a positive or negative number in the bottom for the run. So that means it doesn't go up or down, but it can go to the right. Which one of those does not go up or down when you read it left to right? D. So now undefined, remember that an undefined fraction, that could have a negative in the top, but it has a 0 in the bottom, or you can have a positive in the top and a 0 on the bottom. So this means no change in the x direction. Doesn't change left or right. Which one does not change left to right? Yeah, B. B does not change left or right. And we'll unpack that. So B, if I go from this point to get to another point, I can only go up or down. I don't go left to right. So my run doesn't change at all. My change in x, there isn't one. So that would be B. So now let's move on to these two example problems and see what they say. Okay. So I'm supposed to draw a line that has a slope of positive 3 over positive 4, but we're starting at the point 0, 0. So remember, 0, 0 is right here. This is my x-axis. This is my y-axis. If I have a positive 3 over 4, that means that my rise, 3, that means I'm going to go up 3. So from here I go up 1, 2, and then 3. And then from there, I'm going to have a run of 4. So that means I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a point on the line. And then really, from there, I just need to draw a straight line. So if I put this here and I draw a line through that point, and then if I do this from this point, that's my graph. Okay. Let's do the next one real quick. Again, I should point out this is the y-axis. Going up is positive. Going down is negative. This is the x-axis. Going to the right is positive. This is the x-axis. Going to the left is negative. Again, they tell us to start at 0, 0. That means the x value equals 0 and the y value equals 0. Then we have a negative slope. That means it's going to go down. So that means I'm going to go down 2 and over 3. You could think of this as like negative 2 over 3. In other words, my rise is going to go down 2 units. 1, 2. And then what's my run going to go over? 3. So from here, I go over 1, 2, 3. Now, if you really, you can answer this next one. So what do I do to get to the next point? So this is a point here. Yeah. Okay, stand right there.
It's only the first 3 questions. Don't
But yeah,
have that calculator.
yeah, that's okay. So you just click on the calculator and there it is. Do you see? So you can use that if you want. Oh, I see the challenge.
I didn't even know that was up there.
Yeah. All right, hold on a second. Don't leave that problem. I'll come.
It's timed, so is there like a way to pause this?
I'm gonna let you use this one, and then I'll tell them why you have to use this one in a second. But only use it for the ones that have the calculator on it. Okay. All right. So, anyways, from here, we're gonna go. What's the slope? So this is a point on the graph. How do I get to the next point using the slope? Well, this is, I do the same thing. So what's my rise? So that means I do what?
Go down negative twice.
Yeah, go down 2 spaces. And my run is 3, right? So what does that mean?
Go over to the right
Mm-hmm.
3 times.
Mm-hmm. So I go 1, 2, 3. And then I just got to draw a line through all those points. So if I start here, and that's it. That's how you do that. What do you guys think?
It's easy.
Okay, let me go tell them what's going on.